Good morning, all. I welcome you all for this today's session. In previous session, we have started the phase diagram concept of the phase diagram. We have discussed what is the meaning of a phase diagram, and along with that, how the phase diagrams are useful for us in the metallurgy that we have studied, and we have discussed the brief classification of the phase diagram for the binary systems, means the alloy is having two elements only, and in that we have completed uh, three types already. We have finished isomorphous system, layer type system, and eutectic system. These three systems I have completed, or these three types of phase diagrams I have finished. Now in today's session, I will start the partial eutectic system, or we will discuss what is the meaning of partial eutectic system. And along with this partial eutectic system, I will try to complete some useful transformations. Okay, some useful transformations I will add. Wait, I will check the links. You can message me separately. Don't put that in the chat box here. I will check it. Okay, now today I will finish this. Okay, now first we will start with the what is the partials. Partial eutectic system. Now these type of systems, or these type of phase diagrams are obtained when two metals are completely soluble in each other in the liquid state. Okay, in liquid state, two metals are completely soluble, but in solid state, they are partially soluble in each other. Okay, means suppose if there are two elements are there, A and B, then they are partially soluble, means A will get some amount of A will get dissolved in B, or some amount of B will get dissolved in A, and they will form another solid solution. Okay, that will be a partial eutectic system. Now to better understand this, I will first explain this two terms, alpha and beta. I have used here. This alpha is nothing but the solid solution. Okay, when element B, suppose this is the diagram for two elements A and B, then when B element gets dissolved in A, then it forms a solid solution, and it is known as alpha. Okay, and beta is solid solution of when A gets dissolved in B, then it will be termed as beta solid solution, and it indicates the partial solubility in the solid state. Okay, when A and B are in a solid state, then some amount of B will get dissolved in A. Okay, some amount of B will get dissolved in A, and it forms alpha solid solution. Okay, alpha solid solution. And when A gets dissolved in B, then it forms beta solid solution. Hence this alpha and beta are solid solutions of element B in A. Okay, element B in A, it will be termed as alpha. When small amount of B gets dissolved in A, then it is termed as alpha solid solution. And when small amount of element A gets dissolved in element B, then it is termed as beta solid solution. Okay, so after explaining these solid solutions, I will explain. These are few examples here that you have to mention. This silver, silver and copper, then lead tin, then tin bismuth, lead and antimony, cadmium zinc, aluminum silicon. These are few examples. These elements, or these alloys, will show the partial eutectic system. Now I will explain these different curves involved in this phase diagram, partial eutectic system. Now this partial eutectic system, in this diagram, which is indicated in this diagram, this is partial eutectic system for element A and element B. At this point A, 100% element A is present, and at this point 100% element B is present. When you move from this point A to B, percentage or composition of A decreases and amount of B increases. Okay, weight percentage of B here. I have marked here. Now, this point C, okay, this point C is the melting point of element A, and this point G is the melting point of element B. Then this line CEG, okay, CEG, this is the liquidus line. Okay, above this line, your sorry, your metals or alloys will be in liquid state only. CEG, this is this liquidus line, and above this line, your alloy will be in liquid state only. Then this C, D, E, F, G. Okay, please see the movement of this cursor. C, D, E, F, G. This is the solidus line, and below this C, D, E, F, G. Below this alloy will be in solid state only, and in between this liquidus and solidus line, alloy will be in liquid plus solid state. Then this point E, this is the eutectic point. Okay, I will explain this concept again for better understanding. When, please listen here. This point C is the melting point of element A, and this point G is the melting point of element B. Okay, when 100% element A is there, then this is the melting point. But when you add small amount of B in this element A, its melting point decreases. Okay, as amount of element B in element A increases, its melting point decreases. Slowly it will decrease. And the same case will occur when at this point G. Okay, G is the melting point when B is 100%. But when you add element A, gradually its melting point decreases. Gradually its melting point decreases. And these two lines will intersect at this point E. This is termed as eutectic point. And this eutectic point is the lowest melting temperature for the mixture A and B, or for this alloy, for any particular composition in your whole diagram. This will be the lowest melting point temperature. Okay, this is the eutectic temperature, and this E is the eutectic point. Its corresponding temperature will be eutectic temperature. Here, this will be eutectic temperature. Its corresponding composition, from this line point, you will get the composition. It will be termed as eutectic composition. Okay. And then after that, after this, some new terms are added or introduced in this diagram. That new terms or new lines are there here. These two lines, HD and this KF. Okay, these curves, HD and this KF. These are termed as solvus lines. Okay, these are termed as solvus lines. Are you getting this? Solvus lines. Why these are termed as solvus lines? Okay. Now, what this line HD and KF indicates? Because this line HD, it will indicate the solubility of element B in A. Okay. Solubility of element B in A. And that's why it is termed as solvus line HD. Then this KF is the solvus line, and it indicates the solubility of element A in B at various temperatures. Okay, this KF and HD, it will indicate the solubility of A in B and B in A at different temperatures. Okay, I will repeat it again. This HD will indicate the solubility of element B in A at various temperatures. Okay, at different temperatures. Then this KF line will indicate the solubility of element A in element B at different temperatures. And these two lines are termed as solvus lines. Okay. Now, Okay, these are three types of lines are there. This is the liquidus line, CEG, and CDEFG. This is the solidus line, and this HD and this KF, these are solvus lines, and this DF, it will indicate any problem is there. Whose voice is coming here? Ajay Sukale. If any query is there in this case, please ask me. I have explained here. Okay, this is the explanation for this diagram. Okay, this partial eutectic system is a little bit complicated as compared to the other diagrams. Okay, please draw this diagram. This is the simple diagram, and I have explained now. After drawing this diagram and explaining the different lines and its importance and different terms, newly added terms, here two terms are added, and that is alpha and beta. These are nothing but the alpha is the solid solution of element B in element A. Okay, as it is partially soluble, it forms a solid solution. Then beta is the solid solution of element A in element B. Okay, as A is partially soluble in B, it will form the beta solid solution. Okay, small amount will get dissolved and they will form the respective solid solutions. And these two are the solvus lines indicating the solubility of one element into the another element. And this DF is the eutectic transformation line. Okay, now this is the explanation. After this explanation, you have to mark some curves by considering the compositions according to the nature of the diagram. And as per this nature of this diagram, okay, so this is the diagram I have considered with one example. All these diagrams I have collected from the VD Codegir's book. You can refer that. Okay. Now, as per the nature from this diagram here, I have marked this eutectic composition. Then this diagram has this whichever portion I am showing by this cursor in this portion. Okay, this is the eutectic composition. If composition is less than eutectic composition, it will be hypoeutectic. Okay, this left hand side part will be hypoeutectic. All compositions will be hypoeutectic. Then if composition is more than this eutectic composition, it will be hypereutectic alloy, and it will come towards the right hand side. Okay, towards this E point. This is the hypereutectic alloy part. And this hypoeutectic alloy, it will get divided. You can mark here two curves in this portion. Okay, in this portion and here in this portion, one curve. In that way, I have highlighted here. This is the first curve, then second, and this is the third curve here. Similarly, you can mark these two curves, okay, in this hypereutectic part here and one curve here. Okay. Now, I request you all to draw the diagram. I will give you a few minutes here. After that, I will explain the these cooling curves and microstructural changes. Okay, I will explain the cooling and microstructural changes for these three curves, and these remaining two curves will be same as these two. Okay, just these will be hypereutectic, and you have to just change the this phase. Instead of alpha, you have to write there beta. Okay, just I will explain these three curves. After that, and these two you can understand, or you can write it by your own, and I will provide the detailed notes. Okay, and I request you all to draw the diagram and put your attendance in the chat box. Okay, please mention your roll number only once. Don't put again and again. It will get recorded. Just write your roll numbers in the chat box. Okay, I think you have completed the drawing. So I will start explaining now these curves. Okay, first I will explain this curve. Okay, I have taken this diagram for silver and copper system. Okay, Ag and Cu. If you are, if it is not possible for you to remember these compositions, you can directly write A and B. You can take element A, element B, And instead of this percentage, exact percentage, you can mention XYZ%. Okay, there is no need to remember the exact composition or this particular diagram. Okay, you can draw the curve. Okay, you can draw this diagram and you can consider that curves, this here one curve, here one curve, and here one curve, and you can assume the composition X%, Y%. Okay, and here just you have to mention whichever. Suppose you have assumed Z%, then suffix E for eutectic composition you have to mention. Okay, now here I have taken this silver and copper system, and I have collected this from book only. If it is not possible for you to remember the exact compositions, you can write, assume some points for this particular diagram only. Okay, they are not going to ask you the specific compositions. And just what is important, you have to understand the curves here at the point E. This is the eutectic point, and this will be your eutectic alloy. Okay, then mark one curve here. Then towards left hand side, when composition is less than this eutectic composition, here eutectic composition is 28.1% copper. When composition is less than this 28.1%, then it will be considered as a hypoeutectic alloy. And when composition is more than this 28.1, means toward this side, it will be considered as hypereutectic alloy. Then this hypoeutectic alloys may show, or they can show, two types of the microstructural changes depending on the composition. The curve may come in this area where your transformation is different, and in this area. Okay, I will consider two curves here, one curve here and one here. Now I will explain the microstructural changes for this first curve, 6% copper. Okay, you can assume composition, you can assume X, Y, Z. Now for this curve, mark the points 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mark the points wherever it cuts your phase diagram. Okay, this is the starting point, then it cuts the phase diagram here, then here 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now for each region, now during this cooling, what will be the microstructural changes that you have to discuss. Now your alloy at this point 1, initially you have heated that alloy and up to 1000 degrees Celsius. Then now you are slowly cooling that alloy. Now in this region 1 to 2, during the cooling, when temperature falls, then in region this 1 to 2 alloy will, there is no change in the phases. No phase change occurs in this region 1 to 2. No phase change occurs, and alloy remains in the liquid state only. And when temperature falls below this point 2, below this point 2, depending on diagram only you can discuss it. When temperature falls below this point 2, in this region alpha plus liquid it is showing, means when temperature falls below this point 2, alpha starts separating out. Okay, alpha starts separating out, and this alpha is separated before this transformation, this eutectic transformation. This is proeutectic alpha. Okay, initially alpha is not present. Initially alpha is not present. This line means when temperature falls below this point 2, it reaches the melting point of element A, here silver. This silver separates out, but this silver forms, okay, sorry, silver separates out, and as this they will form the solid solution. Copper and silver will form a solid solution, means copper, small amount of copper will get dissolved in the silver, and it will form the alpha solid solutions. Okay, that is the basic concept. Directly you can mention this: when temperature falls below 2, alpha separates out, and in this region 2 to 3, alpha plus liquid phase will be there, means solid and liquid. Then uh, in 2 to 3, alpha plus liquid will be there. Okay. And when temperature reaches at 0.3, whichever amount of liquid is there, it will get transformed to alpha. Okay, it will get transformed, or it will form the alpha solid solution. And in this region 3 to 4, only alpha phase will be there. Only alpha phase will be there. And after 0.4, okay, after 0.4, now from that alpha solid solution, your copper, okay, when temperature falls below this 0.4, the second element will separate out in the form of beta solid solution, and they will form the mixture of alpha and beta. Okay, below this 0.4, mixture of alpha beta will be formed. This much write up is sufficient. And how it is formed? Copper will separate out when this temperature falls below this 0.4. Copper separates out and in the form of beta solid solution. Okay, this is the concept. So in this way, this is the cooling. What exactly happens during the cooling of an alloy with this 6% of copper, and for that some microstructural changes are there. Okay, so this is the alpha grains. The diagram A, it will show, or this diagram A structure, only alpha grains are there. Okay, here in 3 to 4. Now in 1 to 2, you can draw one circle and only liquid you can show. Then in 2 to 3, liquid and some alpha grains. In 3 to 4, you have to draw this diagram. In region 3 to 4, this A diagram will be there. Microstructure similar to this A diagram. It is only alpha grains are there. Only alpha grains. Then when it falls below, temperature falls below this 0.4, uh, beta separates out. Okay, beta separates out, and these two diagrams will indicate the 4 to 5. Okay, microstructural changes in region 4 to 5. Okay, from this 4 to 5, these two diagrams will show the changes. What is the difference between this 4 to 5? Just the cooling rate. Whenever cooling rate is slow and whenever cooling rate is fast, it will give you another structure for B and C. Okay, in 4 to 5 region, beta separates out, and when the cooling rate is very slow, beta will get segregated at the, or it will accumulate the grain boundary space. Okay, at grain boundaries, it will accumulate the spaces at the grain boundaries only. I have shown here dark. This darker region is nothing but these are the beta grains, and this white space is the alpha grain. Okay, beta separates out. This is in region 3 to 4. Microstructure in region 3 to 4. And in 4 to 5, when cooling rate is slow, you will get the beta grains on the grain boundary itself. And when cooling rate is very fast or rapid, this beta will precipitate out in the form of this powdered particles, or in the form of a precipitation. These are dotted particles are nothing but beta grains when cooling rate is very fast. So in this way, depending on cooling rate in region 4 to 5, you will get these two types of microstructures. Oh, my voice is not audible. Am I audible clearly? Okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, whether this microstructural changes are clear, please mention that in the chat box, whether it is clear for this first curve. If you are able to understand this first curve, uh, remaining will be very easy. Okay, no problem then. Now, I have explained this microstructural changes. Okay, for this curve, okay, for hypoeutectic alloy with this 6% B, Now the similar microstructural changes will occur in this region, this end part region here. Okay, for hypereutectic alloy in this region. Okay, if you took any curve, any alloy in this curve, and if you observe its cooling, then you will find that microstructural changes are very much similar. Only change will be that instead of alpha, you have to write beta. Okay, instead of alpha, you have to mention beta, and instead of beta, you have to mention alpha. Okay, and diagrams will remain same. Okay, same diagrams you have to refer. Just replace alpha by beta and beta by alpha for this region. Okay, hypereutectic alloy, this one curve. Okay, similar nature will be there. Just phase will be beta instead of alpha and alpha instead of beta. And then the next is, this is the second. Okay, this is the second curve. Now I will consider now in 1 to 2. Okay, in 1 to 2 region, it I will check. Okay, this is the diagram I have added. Please refer that diagram. I think you have drawn that diagram. I will explain the changes here. Okay, in region 1 to 2, in region 1 to 2, alloy will be in liquid state. I am explaining this curve for silver and 20% copper alloy. Okay, in region 1 to 2, please refer the diagram which you have drawn for your reference. In region 1 to 2, alloy will be in liquid state. When temperature falls below 2, alpha starts separating out. Okay, alpha starts separating out in region 2 to 3. This will be proeutectic alpha, and liquid will remain there. Okay, liquid and proeutectic alpha for region 2 to 3. Okay, for region 2 to 3. And when temperature reaches at point 3, this liquid, and means eutectic transformation will occur, and this liquid will get transferred to mixture of alpha and beta. Okay, this line portion is nothing but the alpha and beta, and depending on the rate of the cooling, that beta particles may separate out in the form of precipitates, or they may accumulate the grain boundaries of this proeutectic alpha. Okay, beta may accumulate this grain boundary, or these particles may precipitate out. Okay, in the form of precipitation. So this is the, I will again highlight this here. 1 to 2 liquid will be there. 2 to 3 alpha will separate out. This alpha will be termed as proeutectic alpha because it is separated before this eutectic transformation. And in region 2 to 3, proeutectic alpha and liquid will be there. Okay, then at point 3, eutectic transformation occurs, and this liquid, it will get transferred to mixture of alpha and beta. Eutectic mixture will be formed, and depending on the rate of the cooling, in this 3 to 4 mixture of what will be there, proeutectic alpha and mixture of alpha and beta. Okay, proeutectic, this is the proeutectic alpha and mixture of alpha and beta, and depending on the rate of cooling, beta particles may separate out in the form of precipitation. If rapid cooling is there, beta particles may separate out here. Okay, in the form of powder particles, or in the form of precipitation, or they may gather at grain boundaries depending on the cooling rate. If rapid cooling is there, this type of microstructure will be there at the end. So these are the microstructural changes. This is the microstructural changes for this 20% copper hypoeutectic alloy. If suppose in this region we are having hypereutectic alloy, then same microstructural changes will be there. Just you have to change. Okay, please observe this region here. Instead of this alpha, just you have to write the beta. Remaining will be same. Instead of alpha, you have to change it the beta phase, or you instead of alpha take the beta phase, and instead of beta take the alpha phase. Okay. For this region, alpha plus liquid here, here liquid plus beta. Remaining microstructural changes or diagrams will be same. And here you will get the hypereutectic region. Now only one curve will be there, exact eutectic composition. Okay, this will be the exact eutectic composition. And this is the diagram. Schematic representation of changes in the microstructure during solidification or cooling of an alloy with silver and 28.1% copper. Okay, means this is the eutectic composition. If you are not able to remember the composition, you can assume these values for this particular phase diagram only. Okay, in 1 to 2, liquid state will be there, 1 to E. And when temperature reaches at point E, liquid will get transferred to the mixture of alpha and beta. Simple diagram is there. Okay, here 1 to E, only liquid is there, and when temperature reaches at point E, eutectic composition will occur, and this liquid will get transferred to mixture of two solids, that is alpha and beta, and it is shown in the diagram, this diagram. Okay, in this way we have discussed this partial eutectic system. What is the meaning of partial eutectic system? We have discussed this. These types of diagram, when these types of diagrams are obtained, then its examples and explanation of the lines like liquidus line, solidus line, and solvus lines. Then what is alpha solid solution, beta solid solution, then microstructural changes, and the two curves for hypereutectic alloy. And this is the exact eutectic alloy. And with reference of these two hypereutectic alloys, you can write the explanation for hypereutectic alloys also. Okay, just you have to change the alpha, replace alpha by beta and beta by alpha. Okay, now in this way we have completed this. This is the first chapter is finished here. Now I will explain few transformations are there. Okay, these are few transformations, important transformations that you have to remember, that I will explain within 5 minutes, and I will close this session, and this first chapter will get completed here only. Okay, now this first transformation is eutectoid transformation. Just try to remember the reaction. Okay, or it's how it is expressed. This is the expression for this eutectoid transformation can be expressed as one solid, it gives two different mixture of two different solids. Okay, now what is the eutectoid transformation? It is a solid state transformation in which one solid decomposes into two different solids at a constant temperature during cooling. Okay, this solid A decomposes at a constant temperature, and it gives a mixture of two different solids, that is solid B and solid C. This transformation is termed as eutectoid transformation. One solid will decompose and it forms two different solids. It is termed as eutectoid transformation. Then its corresponding temperature will be termed as eutectoid temperature, and composition will be eutectoid composition. For examples, these alloys, okay, iron and copper, copper tin, copper aluminum, zinc aluminum, aluminum manganese, these will show you the eutectoid transformation. Okay, they will show the eutectoid transformation. Then the peritectoid transformation. Okay, peritectoid transformation. Please refer the expression two solids forms one new solid. Okay, It is a solid, again, it is a solid state transformation. From one solid, they are giving another solids. Okay. This eutectoid also a solid state transformation. From one solid, two different solids are formed here. Now in peritectoid, exactly reverse of this eutectoid transformation. It is a solid state transformation in which two different solids reacts with each other or combines with each other, and they form a third new different solid during the cooling at a constant temperature. Now its expression I have shown here. You can refer it. Solid A combines with solid B at a constant temperature during the cooling, and they forms a third solid or new solid having different characteristics and properties, and it is denoted by this solid C here. Okay, two solid combines to form a third solid or new solid, and this is termed as, this transformation is termed as peritectoid transformation. Okay, eutectoid, and this is the peritectoid. Examples, some examples I have mentioned here: nickel zinc, nickel molybdenum, copper tin, iron, and niobium. Nb is the niobium. Okay, Nb niobium. Okay, this is eutectoid transformation, and this is peritectoid transformation. Then, okay, I will move towards next slide. Okay, why I am discussing these transformations? Because in match the pairs or in some competitive examinations, they will ask you these types of MCQ questions. They will mention you that one solid is forming two different solids. What is the type of transformation? Okay, from one solid, two different solids are formed. Then eutectoid transformation. And if suppose two solid combines to form one solid, it is peritectoid. Now, now whenever for your better understanding, whenever this tectoid word is there, you can remember that it is related, it is in solid state. It is a solid state transformation. Okay, solid is giving solid like this. Tectoid, eutectoid, EU means uh, you can say that they are separating, and from this peri word you can say that uh, here U means EU. Simply it is decomposing, and peri means some union is occurring. Okay. Now in the same way, eutectic transformation. Now here in eutectic transformation, one liquid, okay, in this transformation, liquid decomposes at a constant temperature to form a mixture of two different solids, here indicated by letter solid B and solid C. Okay, liquid decomposes during the cooling process at a constant temperature, and it gives a mixture of two different solids. It is termed as eutectic transformation, and examples are iron carbon, then thorium titanium, lead, arsenic, bismuth, cadmium. Okay, this is eutectic transformation, or you can directly write the eutectic systems examples here. Okay, from eutectic system you can write the examples. Then peritectic transformation. Okay, tectic means it is related to the liquid. Tectoid means related to the solid. Now here in this transformation, liquid combines with one solid, and they form a single new solid. Okay, in this transformation, a liquid reacts with a solid or combines with a solid at a constant temperature, and it forms a new solid during the cooling process. Liquid A combines with solid B, and it gives new solid C. And this peritectic transformation can be seen in FeC, iron carbon alloy, then copper, zinc, aluminum, titanium, platinum, and silver. These are the examples of peritectic transformation. Now, for easy recalling, you can say that for eutectoid transformation, FEC is there. Then this eutectic transformation, again FEC is example. Peritectic transformation, again FEC is the examples. Okay, this one example is there for these three transformations. Okay, please try to remember this. And in second chapter, uh, all these parts will get repeated again. This FEC is nothing but iron carbon equilibrium diagram. Iron carbon equilibrium diagram. Okay, now in this way I have completed this eutectic and peritectic transformation, and now fifth and last transformation is monotectic transformation. Now in this transformation, one liquid decomposes to produce a mixture of one new solid and another new liquid. This is termed as monotectic transformation. One liquid decomposes to form a mixture of another liquid and another new solid. This will be termed as monotectic transformation. Okay, one liquid decomposes and gives one new liquid and one new solid. For examples, copper, lead, aluminum lead, zinc lead, then zinc bismuth. These are the examples. So these are some transformation, 5 transformation I have explained here. Eutectoid transformation, peritectoid transformation, then eutectic transformation, peritectic transformation, and monotectic transformation. Okay, now in this way, I have finished this first chapter is completed. Already I have shared you the test, first test. Please attempt that test. Okay, now in today's session, I have completed partial eutectic system, then microstructural changes in that partial eutectic system, and few transformations in the alloy system like eutectoid, peritectoid, then eutectic, peritectic, and monotectic transformations. Okay, if you have any query, you can mention that in the chat box. Okay, and for if suppose few lectures, for all lectures I have added on the channel. Okay, YouTube channel also, YouTube links are there. Please refer that link. You can go through that. If any queries there. Okay, no queries there. Okay, first chapter is completed. Now from next session, I will start the second chapter. Okay, first chapter is completed, introduction to the ferrous alloys. Now second chapter I will start from the next session. If no query is there, I will close this session. If any query is there, you can mention that in the chat box. If no query is there, you can mention that no doubt. Then I will close this session. Okay. Okay, now after I think from 11 a.m. your sessions are there. Continue with that session. Okay, thank you. Now in this way, I have completed this first chapter. If you have missed any session, please go through the link that channel provided. You will get all the sessions and all metallurgy lectures I have uploaded there. Please refer it. Thank you. Thank you for attending this session. You can continue to your remaining sessions.